"Over my dead body." According to high-level palace insiders, those were the 4 brutal words that reportedly echoed through the corridors of Kensington Palace this week. As the clock ticks down to Prince Harry's 40th birthday, the Duke of Sussex is sitting in California waiting for a massive financial windfall. A multi-million-dollar inheritance from his mother's trust that was supposed to set him up for life. He thinks the money is guaranteed. He thinks the Spencer millions are untouchable, but he is wrong. Welcome back. Before we continue, please kindly subscribe. We are on a journey to reach 1,000 subscribers in less than 2 weeks, and we're counting on you. Like, comment, and hit on the notification bell. Today we are exposing the truths the palace tries to hide. For years, we thought the war between the brothers was about apologies, interviews, and hurt feelings. We were wrong. It is about the money. Prince William is reportedly livid and has launched a secret scorched earth strategy to freeze his brother's assets cold. He has allegedly petitioned the executives of Diana's estate with a devastating argument: Harry has betrayed the family and therefore he has forfeited his birthright. Do not look away. In the next few minutes, we are going to take you inside a secret meeting at the Althorpe estate. We will expose the hidden moral clause William is using as a legal weapon and reveal the terrifying reason why Harry is frantically calling his lawyers. The future king has declared war on his brother's bank account, and the final battle begins right now. To understand the sheer ferocity of this new battle, we must leave the gossip of the tabloids behind and enter the secretive world of royal archives. While the world focuses on the public shouting match, Prince William has reportedly taken the fight to a quiet, dust-filled room at Sandringham, the Monument Room. This is where the private papers of the Windsor and Spencer families are kept hidden from prying eyes. And it is here that William's legal team has reportedly unearthed the weapon that could stop Harry in his tracks. It is not a public law or a parliamentary act. It is a private, handwritten document known as the 1993 Letter of Wishes. According to legal experts familiar with aristocratic estates, when Princess Diana drafted her will, she included this side letter to guide her executives. For 3 decades, it was just a piece of paper, a sentimental note from a mother. But today, William is holding it up as a shield. The letter reportedly outlines Diana's deepest hope, that her assets would be used to support her sons, but more importantly, to preserve the standing of the family. For years, Prince Harry has operated under a comforting assumption. He knew that the firm would close its checkbook when he left. But he always believed that the Spencer money, the inheritance from his mother's side, was untouchable. He believed that his status as Diana's son trumped his status as a royal exile. However, William is now arguing that the spirit of the bequest has been violated. His argument to the trustees is legally ruthless and emotionally devastating. He is claiming that the 1993 letter implies a moral obligation. The funds were intended to give her sons independence, not to fund a war against the very institution she raised them in. William points to a brutal paradox. Harry is using Diana's money to pay for the PR teams, the lawyers, and the platforms that attack Diana's other son. In William's eyes, the inheritance didn't just buy a house. It funded the ammunition for the attacks, but that wasn't the only argument William brought to the table. What his lawyers discovered next shifts this from a moral argument to a terrifying legal reality that threatens to bankrupt the Sussexes. Critics might ask, is Prince William just being greedy? Is the future king trying to snatch money from his younger brother? To answer that, we must look at the cold, hard financials. Prince William does not need the money. As the Prince of Wales, he posted a private income of nearly $30 million in a single year. He is for all intents and purposes a billionaire. This is not about the cash. It is about the principle and a deeply held fear regarding American law. William believes that handing these assets over to Montecito, especially the residual estate, which may include rare jewelry and archives, is essentially handing them over to Netflix. He fears the merchandising of grief. He refuses to let his mother's sacred legacy become collateral in a Hollywood rebrand. So armed with the 1993 letter, William has sent a chilling message to the man holding the keys to the vault. He is demanding a freeze, but there is a darker, more specific fear driving this blockade. While the pressure mounts on Earl Spencer in the English countryside, the true engine of Prince William's anxiety is running hot 5,000 m away in Los Angeles. To the casual observer, blocking an inheritance might seem spiteful, but sources close to the Prince of Wales suggest his motivation has shifted from emotional anger to cold, hard legal panic. William's legal team has reportedly placed a terrifying dossier on his desk titled The California Risk. They are not just worried about Harry spending the money. They are worried about Harry losing it in a courtroom. We must remember that Harry and Meghan reside in California, a jurisdiction famous for its strict community property laws. William is acutely aware of the legal trap this creates. His lawyers have reportedly warned him of the concept of commingling. They argue that once inheritance money, whether it is the rumored $10 million or priceless Spencer jewelry, crosses the Atlantic and enters a joint account, or is used to renovate a marital home, it ceases to be slee. It becomes a marital asset, and this leads to the scenario that keeps the future king awake at night. Insiders claim that part of William's urgency stems from a fear of asset bleed in the American courts. While the Sussexes publicly deny any marital trouble, royal watchers and palace courtiers discuss the possibility of a future divorce constantly. William is forced to plan for the worst-case scenario. If the marriage were to dissolve, and if Diana's assets had been commingled, a Los Angeles judge could technically order those assets to be split 50-50. Imagine the horror of Prince William seeing his mother's emeralds or the funds meant for her bloodline awarded to Meghan Markle as part of a spousal support package. To William, that is an apocalypse scenario. He refuses to let the legacy of the Spencer family become a bargaining chip in an American divorce settlement. This is a fear that transcends royalty. It's about protecting history from being auctioned off. But to stop this potential disaster, William needs an ally. And he has turned his gaze toward the one man who is caught directly in the crossfire. To truly understand why the 1993 letter is such a potent weapon, we must travel 70 m north of London to the Althorpe estate. This is the ancestral seat of the Spencer family, the final resting place of Princess Diana, and currently the silent battlefield of the Windsor Civil War. At the center of this storm stands one man, Charles Spencer, the 9th Earl Spencer. For decades, the Earl has been the custodian of Diana's memory. He is the man who famously stood in the pulpit at Westminster Abbey in 1997 and vowed to protect his sister's blood family. He promised that William and Harry would not be swallowed whole by the duty and tradition of the royal family. But now, nearly 30 years later, that promise has turned into a curse. Earl Spencer finds himself in the most unenviable position in the British aristocracy. He is the sole arbiter in a war between the future king and the exiled prince. And sources suggest that Prince William is no longer asking for his uncle's help. He is demanding his allegiance. Insiders claim that William's private secretary has made quiet yet firm contact with the Althorpe trustees. The message delivered to the Earl was not a sentimental plea from a nephew. It was a political warning from the Crown. The message, though unwritten, is clear. The Crown expects loyalty. William's argument to his uncle is brutal in its logic. He contends that if the Spencer family releases this new tranche of inheritance, reported to be around $10 million due on Harry's 40th birthday, they are in effect funding the opposition. William views Harry's media empire not just as a nuisance, but as a hostile entity attacking the institution he is destined to lead. Therefore, any money flowing from Althorpe to Montecito is viewed as financing the ammunition for the next attack. It is a subtle but terrifying ultimatum. Do you stand with the future king, or do you stand with the toxic asset in California? This puts Earl Spencer in an impossible bind. On one hand, he made a blood vow to look after Harry. If he bows to William's pressure and locks the vault, he destroys his relationship with the son Diana worried about the most. He risks becoming the villain in Harry's next memoir. Harry would view this as the ultimate betrayal, proof that the institution is so powerful it can turn his own mother's brother against him. But on the other hand, Earl Spencer is a pragmatist. He knows that William is the Prince of Wales. He wields the full weight of the monarchy. Defying the future king could lead to the social ostracization of the entire Spencer line. So what is William actually asking his uncle to do? He is reportedly urging the trustees to activate a specific legal lever known as a discretionary hold. Most aristocratic trusts are not simple bank accounts where you withdraw cash at an ATM. They are managed by trustees who have discretionary power. This means the trustee can technically pause a payout if they believe the beneficiary is in a precarious position. For example, battling addiction, facing bankruptcy, or in this unique case, being under the influence of hostile external forces. William's legal team is allegedly building a dossier to prove that Harry's current crusade constitutes a threat to the family's reputation, giving the Earl the legal cover to say, "Not now. We are keeping the vault locked for your own good." But if Earl Spencer hesitates, William has a plan B, and this strategy is perhaps the most humiliating blow of all for Prince Harry. If Earl Spencer cannot be fully persuaded to block the inheritance purely on moral grounds, Prince William is reportedly preparing to invoke a mechanism known as a protective trust variation. To understand the genius and the cruelty of this move, we have to look at the fine print of British trust law. Usually, when a beneficiary turns 40, the capital, the millions of dollars in the pot, is transferred directly to their personal bank account. It becomes theirs to spend, invest, or waste as they see fit. But William is arguing that the current circumstances are exceptional. He is petitioning for the assets to be placed into a frozen UK-based subtrust. What does this mean in plain English? It means the $10 million inheritance would technically belong to Harry, but he would be physically barred from touching a single cent of the principal sum. He would be placed in a financial straitjacket. Under this proposed structure, Harry might be allowed to receive the interest generated by the millions, a modest annual sum. Perhaps enough to cover the tuition fees for Archie and Lilith's future education. But the golden parachute itself, the massive lump sum he needs to pay for his security and his mortgage, would remain locked in a vault in London overseen by trustees loyal to the Crown. This is a master stroke of soft power. By framing the freeze as a protective measure, William is cleverly shielding himself from accusations of greed. He is reportedly arguing that he isn't stealing the money. He is safeguarding it for the next generation. His argument to the executives is devastatingly simple. If we give this money to Harry now, it will be gone in 3 years. It will be eaten up by security bills, lawsuits, and PR agents. It is my duty to ensure that Diana's money is still there for Archie and Lilith when they turn 40. It is a maneuver that casts William as the responsible guardian and Harry as the reckless spendthrift. It effectively declares the Duke of Sussex financially incompetent to manage the legacy of the Spencer family. Imagine the psychological blow to Prince Harry. He fled the UK to escape the control of the men in grey suits. He wanted financial independence. But if this protective trust is activated, he will be 40 years old, yet legally treated like a teenager. He will have to ask permission to access his own mother's money. He will have to submit receipts and justifications to trustees who report back to his brother. Every dollar released would come with strings attached. The message from William is clear. You can leave the family, but you cannot take the family fortune with you to fund your rebellion. This plan B also neutralizes Harry's ability to fight back in the press. If Harry complains that William is stealing his money, William can simply reply, "I haven't taken a penny. It's all there sitting safely in the bank, waiting for your children." It corners Harry completely. And for a man whose burn rate in Montecito is estimated to be millions of dollars a year, a frozen trust is as good as an empty one. Sources say that when the details of this protective variation reached California, the mood shifted from anger to genuine fear. Harry realizes that his brother is playing a long game, a game of attrition. William is willing to tie this money up in legal red tape for decades if necessary. He knows Harry doesn't have the time or the liquidity to fight a protracted legal battle in the High Court of London against the Prince of Wales. The Spencer safety net that Harry has relied on for his entire life is being pulled away strand by strand. And as the reality of this financial blockade sets in, the panic in Montecito is beginning to boil over. To understand why Prince William's potential blockade is causing such a meltdown in the Sussex household, we have to look beyond the headlines and into the ledger. The reality of Harry and Meghan's new life is that it is incredibly, staggeringly expensive. And according to financial experts, the burn rate of brand Sussex is rapidly outpacing its income. For years, Prince Harry operated under a comforting assumption. He believed that no matter how bad things got with his father, the Spencer money was untouchable. He viewed it as his old money safety net, a reservoir of wealth that the firm couldn't touch. It was the golden parachute. But now with the news that William is actively lobbying to freeze the trust, that parachute has been cut. Sources say that when the news reached California, Harry was absolutely devastated, a feeling that quickly turned to fury. The timing could not be worse. The financial landscape for the couple has shifted dramatically in the last 12 months. The $20 million Spotify deal collapsed in a public humiliation, with a top executive branding them grifters. The Netflix deal hangs by a thread contingent on them producing hits that haven't materialized. The era of easy money in Hollywood is over, yet the bills keep coming. We are talking about a $14 million mortgage on the Chateau of Riven Rock. We are talking about private travel legal fees for endless lawsuits in London and a massive staff of PR agents and assistants. But the killer cost, the one that reportedly keeps Harry awake at night, is security. Since losing their taxpayer-funded police protection, Harry has been forced to pay for a private security detail that rivals that of a head of state. Estimates put this bill alone at $2 to $3 million a year. Without the steady drip of inheritance or a massive new contract, Harry is facing a liquidity crisis. He's realizing that without that money, he is entirely dependent on his marketability in Hollywood. And as any agent will tell you, marketability is a fickle friend. This financial pressure is fueling a deep sense of paranoia. Harry reportedly feels encircled. He views William's actions not as protecting the family, but as petty revenge. Friends of the Duke suggest he sees a conspiracy. First, they took his military titles. Then they took his Royal Highness status. Then they evicted him from Frogmore Cottage. Now they are coming for the one thing that connects him to his mother. He argues privately that William has everything: the Duchy of Cornwall, the palaces, the crown jewels. Harry has a mortgage and a podcast. For William to begrudge him, this inheritance seems to Harry to be the height of cruelty, so Harry is fighting back the only way he knows how. As the sun sets on Montecito, Harry is reportedly working the phones. He is trying to outflank his brother. Sources suggest he is frantically calling his aunts, Lady Sarah McCorquodale and Baroness Jane Fellows, and his cousins, trying to bypass his uncle Earl Spencer and Prince William. He is trying to find a sympathetic ear, someone in the Spencer clan who will remember Diana's wish for her sons to be free. He is fighting to keep the channel open because Harry knows the terrifying truth. If that vault closes, the American dream might just turn into a financial nightmare. If the Spencer safety net is pulled away, the pressure on Harry and Meghan to commercialize becomes existential. They must write another book. They must sell more secrets. They must do another reality show. William's blockade might actually force them into a corner where they have no choice but to sell everything. As the fog settles over the Alorp estate, one thing becomes painfully clear. This is no longer just a family feud. It is a tragedy of legacy. The battle for the Spencer vault teaches us a brutal but necessary lesson about life. You cannot burn the bridge and then expect the supply truck to keep driving across it. For years, Prince Harry has preached the gospel of freedom. Freedom from the institution, freedom from the press, and freedom from his father's rules. But he seems to have forgotten that true freedom comes with a price tag. You cannot spend 4 years attacking the source of your privilege and then act surprised when that privilege is revoked. From my personal perspective here at Legacy's Edge, Prince William is not acting out of malice. He is acting out of necessity. He is practicing the ultimate form of tough love. He is drawing a line in the sand that says, the memory of our mother is not a commodity to be traded for Hollywood clout. William realizes that if he doesn't stop the flow of assets, now the history of the Spencer family will end up as a plot point in the next season of a reality show. He is choosing to be the villain in Harry's story today so he can be the hero in Diana's history forever. Now, the gavel passes to the jury of public opinion. Is Prince William right to block his brother's inheritance to protect the family honor, or is he being cruel by denying Harry his birthright? Cast your vote in the comments. Type Team William if you think the vault should stay locked. Type Team Harry if you think the inheritance belongs to him no matter what. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the secret financial wars of the royal family, please smash that like button. It helps us get the truth out to more people. And don't forget to subscribe to Legacy's Edge and ring the bell. The royal checkbook is closing, but the drama is just beginning.